Good morning, everybody. It is time for the Think and Grow Rich Mastermind, filled with insights and information. And today we're going to be talking about desire, specifically the 6 steps of desire. And I can't do this without my co host. By the way, my name is Pegeen. I'm a motivational leadership speaker as well as leader of Power Women Worldwide. I'm so excited that you're here and ready to fill your soul, your heart, your mind with the information from Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill's book that is shared worldwide for over 30 years. Let me bring on some of my co hosts so that you can be thinking about your desire. First, I'm going to bring in Galen Bingham, whiskey, jazz, podcast, leadership expert, man with the smooth voice, who together, let me tell you, we just talk about desire all the time. Hello, good morning, and tell me, Galen, desire.
Good morning. Good morning. This is going to be an incredible show. I think I said that every week, but this is the where everything starts. Right. This is the beginning point of any kind of achievement. Starts with your desire, and one of the things that I am just absolutely convinced of, and that is that we are all designed to be the greatest in the world at something, but we settle for average. And the reason that we settle is because we don't want to do the work. And the work isn't necessarily grinding things out and working 25 hours a day. The work is figuring out that thing that you were designed to be the greatest in the world at doing, and then committing yourself to doing that, to getting there. The reality is no one else can do this work that you were put here to do. You can't delegate that to your family. You can't delegate that to your friends. You can't delegate that to your employees. You've got to do the work. And instead of doing the work, we tend have a tendency to do something similar to doing the work, and that's not going to cut it. So that's what we're talking about today. How do you, as Napoleon Hill says, how do you develop this burning white hot desire for this thing that you say that you want to do, and quite honestly, this thing that only you can do? So I'm just really excited about this conversation, about our guest. Lakesha is amazing. Can't wait to bring her on and get this conversation started.
Well, I'm really excited. I'm so also excited to see Dr. Rubin here with us. And, Doretha is always with us here. And, you and Peter and everybody else that comes in and plays with us. I love it. What I would say is tell everybody, share it now, share this show, post on your Facebook pages that you're investing in yourself by listening to this show. And I think it'd be really helpful and in service of the world. And you said something super, super important. And I'm going to bring in Peter because you said something important, Galen, that I wanted to address, which is, the desire is taking your purpose and getting so focused on it. For me, I recognize something is that rather than looking just as what's your purpose, it seems so deep. It was basically just make a choice. All right, I'm going here and then sticking with it. I'm curious. We have Dr. Peter James, Mr. Productivity himself, Mr. Leadership, get this job done. What say you and good morning?
And good morning to you as well, Pagine and Galen. So excited to be here this morning as we traverse the desire chapter of Think and Grow Rich. My name is Dr. Peter A. James. I am the high performance coach helping you to shift your mindset. And the reason I love this chapter so much is because it's all about your mindset. It's all about asking, do you have the will and desire to accomplish your goals and your dreams? And in order to accomplish them, you first need to have that right mindset, that right focus, that right oomph inside of you to really go and take it. And then you go and take your dreams, you go and take your goals, and the actions and behaviors follow suit with that mindset, follow suit with that focus. And you can't have one without the other to a certain extent. You can't just have the mindset and not do anything about it. And this desire chapter starts with the mindset, but then gives you the steps of action so that you can go ahead and go out and take it. So I'm excited to hear how our distinguished guest today did just that.
I could feel you going, take it. We're going to take it. I am so excited about the take it. And before we bring on our next co-host, just know, everybody, we do have a trivia question. And so when I'm bringing in our fearless cohort leader, inspire, desire, just know that the trivia question is blank is the starting point of all achievement. If you know the answer, put it in the comments. And with that, Miss Ann McNeil, I have to ask you. We have someone that says, take it. The other one is talking about purpose. Desire means to you what?
6 steps. 6 steps. And that desire must be a burning obsession, a burning desire. We talk about faith, but what is faith if it's not active faith? The same with desire. What is a desire if it is not a burning desire? And so that is what our special guest has today, and she exhibits it, and it exudes from her with every single smile. But for each of us that's listening and watching, we want to encourage you, please, to comment, like, and share this show, but also subscribe to this YouTube channel and share it with your friends, because this is the beginning of the new year, but it's also the beginning of the new reading of this book, starting with the first principle. And we want to encourage each of you. You must have a desire, just like you must have a dream in order to have a dream come true. You must have a desire in order to achieve it. And it's got to be a burning desire.
Oh, we're going to so get into this. When you talk about a burning desire, and I look at the first statement, which says, fit into your mind the exact amount of money you desire. And to give yourself, I'll add, you had to give yourself permission to have that money. And there's nobody else that I would say, that we're bringing in somebody who oozes this, who oozes the 6 steps, who oozes it all. And Doretha writes, desire is the starting point of all achievement. Bing, 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 bing. Yes, you won there, Doretha. You won the prize of all of us giving you a big smile. Everybody, 1, 2, 3, give her a big smile. That's for you. That's your gift. So let me bring in Lakesha Poplar, who has 17 years of experience in the insurance and customer service industry. She's the CEO of Poplar's Insurance Agency, located in Texas, and provides services in multiple states. She's a national corporation CEO. She's an expert in the industry, specializing in commercial, personal lines, life, and health. So she's going to be able to help us with our money, honey, and protecting it for sure. She's a motivational speaker who's a member of the NABWIC organization, where she volunteers as the national chair of chartering. She's also the founder of Mindset, Not Color, a motivational group that inspires individuals daily. And I cannot wait to hear from Lakesha about desire. Come on, Lakesha, join us.
Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you guys doing?
We are fantastic. And as you could see, we have, Galen and Peter and Ann, and they're going to be coming in to ask you questions. But one of the questions that I wanted to ask you was, what prompted you to pick up the book, Think and Grow Rich?
Well, I actually picked up the book about 17 years ago. Now, the real question is when it began to impact my life. And that has been recently. Sometimes when we read a book, we don't really get it because our mind is truly not prepared for it at that time. So I was very familiar with it, but it took till now in my life. So that would be about 15 years later where it really began to I understood. I truly understood. So I believe I opened up a portal of growth that allowed me to truly receive the information and start to implement it in my life. And it was life changing.
So just share with us one life-changing experience that you've had because of Think and Grow Rich.
Understanding my desire to impact and motivate, inspire individuals. It allowed me to step outside of myself, and even despite fear, you still move forward because it's bigger than you. So through the Think and Grow Rich book, it was more of to help others. So I consider the book and what it did for me a boomerang effect. As I was learning, I was feeding it to others for them to learn. So now you create the atmosphere of a boomerang effect of the information. Fix your mind. That was the whole goal of my group, Mindset, Not Color, because that's where it begins. The beginning is your mindset. So you must change your mindset in order to even think about the things you want to create in your life or your burning desire. And that's where it started for me, in the mind.
Oh gosh, clearly you are in the right place at the right time with the right people, because we are all looking like those bobbing dolls in the back of a car as we're all like doing this with you in agreement and being aligned. And there's nobody else that I can say that could talk about mindset, and especially about this book, is Ann McNeil. Can you just educate? Well, remind us, allow us to bob our head in agreement as you share the 13 principles.
Absolutely, Pekin. You listen, again, I keep saying it, even though it's the beginning of the year, it is still the beginning of this book as we start these principles all over. And there's no better way to describe the principles than this video. And I'd like to encourage everybody, as you're listening, put in the chat. If you're live here with us, put in the chat, which is your favorite principle? And with that, we'll go ahead and watch this short video.
Number 1 is desire. Napoleon Hill said that everything starts with a burning desire, a compelling reason for doing what it is we do. Step 2 is faith, having belief in our ability to attain that which we desire. Step 3 is what we call autosuggestion. Autosuggestion simply means being very intentional about the things that we are pouring into our thoughts, into our brains, and into our consciousness. Our brains, our minds will receive everything automatically, but we have to work extra hard to make sure that the positive things are what we are feeding ourselves, because those positive thoughts are going to turn into positive actions. Step number 4 is specialized knowledge. No one person knows everything, even about whatever their particular area of expertise might be. And the value of the MasterMind principle is using the specialized knowledge of other people. Step number 5 is imagination, the workshop of the mind. Everything starts with our imagination and our thoughts, the burning desire to transform those thoughts into our reality. In order to do that, we have to take a look at step 6, which is organized planning. That is how we crystallize our desire into action, organizing ourselves. Having the thought and not acting on the thought isn't going to get us anywhere. We have the thought, we go through the organized planning to transform that thought into action. Step number 7 is decision. What Napoleon Hill said is the mastery of procrastination. Napoleon Hill said that the antidote to procrastination is simply to make a decision and then move on that decision. Step 8 is persistence. We have to have a sustained effort which is induced by our faith in order to achieve our goals. One of Napoleon Hill's books I love even the title, 3 Feet from Gold. Those people who became rich during the gold rush in the Wild Wild West days didn't do that because they were necessarily smarter or had better information than anyone else. It's because they stayed just a little bit longer. Sometimes people left when they were just literally 3 feet from gold. So hanging in there, being persistent, is step number 8. Step number 9, the power of the mastermind, the driving force. None of us can accomplish anything on our own. Everybody, I don't care who you are, from the most prominent person to the person who might be considered the lowest on the totem pole, everybody has someone who helped them get to where they are. And the power of the mastermind is being able to use those influences around us, use the thoughts, use the knowledge, use the exploration of other people to help us in achieving our goal. Step number 10, the mystery of sex transmutation. This title can be a little confusing, but essentially what the mystery of sex transmutation means is that we oftentimes in our society think of sex as being purely physical. It is absolutely physical, but what Napoleon Hill teaches us is that sex also has an emotional element, and that sex is the strongest of our desires. That if we can take our sexual energy, transform that into positive, creative influences, it can propel us to new heights. And so we spend quite a bit of time talking about the mystery of step 10, which is sex transmutation. Step number 11 is the subconscious mind, which Napoleon Hill tells us is the connecting leap between our human mind and the infinite intelligence, the source of all thought, the source of all creativity. Conscious mind, we spent some time talking about how we use that through the influence of autosuggestion and what we're feeding into our mind. Step number 12, which is the brain, the broadcasting and receiving station of thought. Final step number 13, the sixth sense, the door to the temple of wisdom. This is the final step through which infinite intelligence may and will communicate voluntarily without any effort from or demands by the individual. The principle is the apex of the philosophy. It can be assimilated, understood, and applied only by first mastering the other 12 principles.
I love going through those 13 principles every single Saturday because you have to keep on filling your mind with the materials, with the insight, with the information for you to grow. One of the things that was coming up for me was about number 9, talking about the mastermind and that you can't do it yourself. I believe strongly that everybody needs to be in a mastermind. But in order to have a mastermind, you have to have someone who's chooses to lead a mastermind, start a mastermind, organize a mastermind. My passion is to communicate about being called to lead, to be powerful, be you, and take serious action to be able to grow. And Anne has started something that I think is really important for those who are being called to lead a mastermind, whether it's a paid mastermind, whether it's a volunteer mastermind. Be surrounding yourself with people who think like you, wanting to grow and be and expand is so critically important. But we need leaders who want to do it. And Anne, can you just come on and share about this new beta of the International Mastermind Association, so people who want to lead, who want to grow, who want to have and develop masterminds can learn best practices. Can you come on and just share a little bit what you're doing?
Thank you, Pakina. Actually, as you were talking, I reached up and pulled this book down, and it's entitled How to Start and Run an Effective Mastermind Group that I wrote. But the reason I pulled this is so that I could just go to one of the pages and talk about the fact that a mastermind group, you should have something as simple as an agenda. An agenda which gives you ideas of how to start and run an effective meeting. Our beta test group as a part of the International Mastermind Association. And if you're interested in joining us, you can actually go to our website and fill out the information. But what my desire is to do is to create a place of accountability for mastermind groups internationally. And think about it as the place for best practices. There is the good, there's the bad, and there's the ugly of masterminding. And oftentimes, people have a great idea. They want to start a mastermind group, but they don't know how and they don't know where to go to do that. So what we've done is we've pulled together a group of individuals and we're calling it a beta test. And if you want to participate, you can go to internationalmasterminders.com. That's masterminders with an S.com /group mastermind. And you can register to join us once a month as we have this conversation. But during the month, you can participate with us on a platform, giving your questions, giving your thoughts, your best practices, and your ideas. And Pekin, that's really the long and short of it. We really want to create a place, and we are creating a place for mastermind groups to be held accountable. Now, if you're interested in being in a mastermind group, this is not that place. You can connect with Begin and Galen and Peter and many other individuals all over the world. You can connect with me too. But if you're interested in having your group go to another level as a part of this masterminding process, this is the place for your group. Thank you.
I'm so grateful that we're doing it. It's just learning the good, the bad, and there is ugly of a mastermind.
Yes.
So you need to know it, especially if you're leading. I want to take a few minutes to just welcome and thank those people that are participating with us. Doretha Davis, Dr. Raquel Rubin, thank you so much for being here. NZ466 Smitty, good morning. I love that we're having other people joining us. Bucorp LLC, thank you for being here. We always have Teresa Davis. I'm excited that you're here. Emilda Wallace, thank you for watching. And everybody who is watching, who I haven't mentioned, thank you so much for being here, for inspiring, and always subscribe. So I want to just go through, I'm going to bring back Lakesha, but before I do, I just want to read something from Think and Grow Rich. So we're all on the same, yes, mine is really beaten up because I read this. Here are the 6 steps. And we're going to be bringing Lakesha in to talk about how she uses the 6 steps. So the first step is fix in your mind the exact amount of money you desire. It's not just sufficient merely to say, I want plenty of money. Be definite as to the amount. There is a psychological reason for definiteness, which will be described in a subsequent chapter. Second, determine exactly what you intend to give in return for the money you desire. There is no such reality as something for nothing. Third, establish a definite date when you intend to possess the money you desire. Fourth, create a definite plan for carrying out your desire and begin at once, whether you're ready or not, to put this plan into action. Fifth, write out a clear, concise statement of the amount of money you intend to acquire. Name the time limit for its acquisitions. State what you intend to give in return for your money and describe clearly the plan through which you intend to accumulate. And sixth, read your statement aloud twice daily, once just before retiring at night, once after arising in the morning. And as you read, see, and feel and believe yourself already in the possession of money, I'll add, it starts showing up. Well, Lakesha, I am so glad that you're here. What say you about those 6 steps? Tell me, talk to me, share with me how you're applying that in your life.
Well, thank you so much, Begin. For me, desire without being backed by faith, it's useless at that point. You need faith. That's the number one thing that is needed in that. You need a belief system bigger than you, higher than you. And for me, that's where it starts, my faith. That's how you fix your mind. When you have faith, then you understand that your purpose in life is bigger than you. So that forces you outside of those comfort zones. For me, it's about the impact, because the more people you help, you will find that you would get exactly what you're looking for, and that burning desire to be of servant to people. And that's why service is just such a big thing for me. that burning desire to be of service for people. That's where God is leading me to do, and so fix your mind. That's number one, by your faith. The second one is determine exactly what you intend to give in return, which that's what I determined to give in return with that. You must establish a definite date on how you intend to possess what it is that you want. And I believe desire is actually God's insight to you.
So
Giving
I need to. So have you written your desire down, or like on a daily basis? Do you do this? And I
you
had to bring
know,
Peter and Galen in because
thank you for that question. And so I can say I don't I fail some days. However, I am intentional about repeating the cycle. So even if you fail, you get back up and you still continue to just get on that process again. So for me, I would say the answer is yes, but no, because I'm human and I just kind of, but I do work on it daily to try to implement that. Now, how I do add that to the world and to people is because I have my group mindset, not color. So when I'm posting on that on a daily basis, I'm implementing things within me that I'm feeding out to the world. So I still keep it in my forefront of my mind with positivity, motivational speakers. I listen to it daily. I don't listen to secular music. That's what I listen to on a daily basis because I do understand the strength of the subconscious mind, which you have to daily work on that. So that's something that I definitely practice.
so Peter has something rolling in his head. He's been bouncing. So Peter, go ahead. I know you want to say something.
I love the fact, Pegeen, that Lakesha had talked about, first of all, giving herself grace to get back up again. I love the fact that she talked about what's going on in her subconscious mind. I love the fact that she's even spoken about the service that she continues to provide on a regular basis. I asked a question on YouTube. I said, what does desire look like in your life? And she has given us examples of what it looks like when it's executed. Remember, I started out by saying you have to go take it. And and what I love about what she's described also is that she's given herself grace. As human beings, we are going to fall back down, right? So when you get back up, Lakesha, that's what I'm really even more interested in, because this resonates with somebody out here today that, hey, I'm not perfect. I'm falling back down. Sometimes it's very discouraging for that matter. I have the desire, but what does it look like after I fall back down and after I get back on the right track? So Lakesha, I want to bring you back in and ask you, what does that look like for you historically? What has it looked like for you historically? What's it going to look like for you moving forward?
I love that question. And, and that's why for me it's so important to be a part of a mastermind group, because now you have those people in your life, in your corner, that number one can hold you accountable and lift you up when you fall, and allow you to know that it's okay just long as you get back up, because that's the key thing. That's the most important. When you succeed, most people are not going to ask you how many times you failed. That's not the question. It's more of just do it. You do it and you just keep going, and just having those accountability partners. I am a member of the IMA, International Mastermind Group, and the 8 of us is called the Great 8.
Nice. Nice.
So we meet on a monthly basis with the Clarity group, but we also meet on Sunday to hold each other accountable on our goals and our annual planning. And so to answer your question, yes, just to have that core group of people that will put you back up there again and just know, hey, just keep going. I know that's what I give to people. And again, I'm a firm believer in the boomerang effect. What God gives me is to go out to others and it boomerangs back to me. So I receive that blessing as well. So that's what it's all about.
Love that. Love that so much there. I'm going to bring Galen on in. I know, Galen, you got some questions around this. Galen's a part of my mastermind, Lakesha, and he holds me accountable. Sometimes a little bit too much, but that's okay though. I'm not complaining.
You only get what you give, man. So I'm just giving it back to you. But one of the things I'm really focused on is on page, I think it's page 29, where it says, I'm just going to read this. It says, you may as well know right here that you can never have riches in great quantities unless you can work yourself into a white heat of desire for money and actually believe you will possess it. Now, one of the things that I wanted to highlight is something that Ann brought up last week, is that there are 12 different enduring riches. Money happens to be one of them, but there are 11 other riches. And Lakeisha, something that you said, I think earlier, is that it's really about making a choice. It's about making a decision. What's something that you just finally made a decision and said, this is what it's going to be? And when you made that decision, that made all the difference, because we can all get distracted by what I call someday goals, that I'd love to do this thing someday. And we all know that someday never comes. But once you make the decision that this is how it's going to be, that made all the difference in the world for you. What's an example of something like that for you?
I have an example of that, and that was when I was transitioning out of corporate America into starting my insurance agency. I wrote my definite date to leave, when I was going to actually step out there. And that is the most scariest thing, because it's like, okay, when you write it down, you must move forward with it now. There's no turning back. It's just like, I believe on page, it might be 29 as well, in the Think and Grow Rich, when he talk about burning the ship. And so there's no turning back from here. You done told people this is what you're going to do. So now what are you going to do at that point? So that's when it was for me, when I decided to leave corporate America and start my insurance agency. And it was like, okay, Keisha, here we go. And it was no turning back. I knew if I kept the job and work the business, that wouldn't work for me. It may work for some, but I know for me, I have to be just totally involved in what it was that I was doing, where I was going, and I had to experience the highs and lows to really just put that burning desire in me to win. I'm a winner. And so that's where I felt that. And that's where I did that at, it, from transitioning from corporate to starting the agency. So I fell, and I fell hard, but I got right back up again. And so now each time I was falling and getting back up, the bruises were lighter, because I've been there before. So now it's like, okay, you understand this process, Keisha, keep going. And yeah, that would definitely be my example of that.
I'll just share with you something that one of the motivational speakers that I think many people tend to bow to in this business is Les Brown. And one of the things I heard Les Brown talk about that just stuck with me, he said, "Don't get concerned if people don't see your dreams. That dream was given to you. You shouldn't be concerned if other people don't see it. You're the one that's got to pursue that. You're the one that was given that dream. And unless you have this burning desire, and I like the way Napoleon Hill phrased it. He says, unless you can work yourself into a burning desire, because it's
Mm.
not going to come naturally. You've got to work that lather up. You've got to get in, you got to get frenzied. Until you do that, you're not going to have that kind of success that's going to allow you to withstand all the bruises that you talked about earlier. Miss Ann, I got to bring you in. You gotta love this conversation you're hearing so far. You're on mute.
Yes, absolutely. And I think one of the things that Lakesha brought to our attention and our memory, if you will, for some, we talked earlier about what is success? What is success to you? And I was sharing before the program started that I was listening to The Secret by Earl Nightingale this morning. And one of the things that he said is that his best description of success is the progressive realization of a worthwhile dream or goal. In other words, what's most important to you? And what Lakeisha is doing is sharing with us the desire principle example of what was most important to her. And she had a desire. That's number one. Number two, she knew exactly what she was going to do to have that desire, which was start an agency. She knew exactly what date she wanted to achieve that desire. Number four, she had a plan. Yes, she had a plan of action. It may have been on a sheet of paper. It may have been in her mind. It may have been a thought that was just going over and over. But eventually, it took on a life of its own. And that desire that used to be a wish and used to be a hope eventually turned into a burning obsession. And she said, I had to go. I had to go. I had to leave because I told people I was leaving. And I'm repeating that because your desire is whatever is important to you. Then we go to number 5, that statement, the repetition of that statement twice a day, 3 or 4 or 5 times a day. My question for you now, Lakeisha, is now that you've done that, starting all over again now, what is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 now for you? What is that burning desire, that obsession now? And I'm asking her that question. I'm asking all of us because we're just coming out of our annual meeting in Boca Raton, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But if each of us don't have a burning desire, and like, we've heard from Carnegie, we've heard from Hill, we've heard from so many people, Earl Nightingale, it's the progressive realization of a worthwhile dream or goal, whatever is important to you. So, Lakeisha, what is that now for you? What does that look like now for you moving forward?
For me now, moving forward, it's finding out for others, assisting them, asking them the question, and being an example that whatever their burning desire is possible. It is possible, and just creating a space with individuals, or that they can do anything they put their mind to. Anything is possible. So many people, have goals and dreams that they don't reach because their belief system is that they can't.
Exactly.
You can. I'm a living example of that. And so that's what I want others to see, know, feel for themselves, but through me watching what I have going on, and just be a part of it. Make sure you're surrounding yourself with the right-minded people, like-minded individuals, and, just being that counterbalance to greatness, because it's possible. It is so possible, but you got to put the work in. You got to put the work in. So to
And,
answer the
before you go further with that, can you give our listeners an example of what is the work? What does that work look like for you?
self-evaluation, you got to be honest with yourself. What do I need to change about me? That's what Lakesha Poplar had to do. It couldn't be about my husband. It couldn't be about my children. It had to be about Lakesha Poplar. What do you want? What is your burning desire? Now, how are we going to get there? And the subconscious mind plays a very, very important role in our life. And we must understand that you really, on a daily basis, must feed the subconscious mind the proper information, because it is self-doubt all day long. The muscle, the brain is a muscle. And
Okay,
it's
now, but give us an example of how do you, in terms of what is it that you do really?
what
And
I
I'm
do.
saying it, Brian. I'm saying that because we have people listening, and each of us do different things. So, yes, what is it that you do? Just give us one example of something that you do.
What I do, I listen. First, I read my Bible.
Perfect. Okay.
That's my first step. You can't go nowhere without that first. Then I listen to inspirational music, motivational speakers, connect with my grade 8. I feed myself what I need to counterbalance any other thoughts in my mind.
And that takes what, about 2 or 3 minutes?
2 or 3 minutes. Well, I'm giving God more than that, but
I just want to pull you into that. No, no, really, because I was listening to Tony Robbins a few weeks ago, and he said he does about 2 or 3 minutes. And I thought to myself, that's great. That works for some. And some of us, it may be just a little bit longer. So how long
it's
is
longer for me.
okay, how
Honestly, it
long?
is longer for me. Riding to my office in the morning, I'm listening to it when I get up in the morning, So I would say I at least give myself at least 30 to 45 minutes a day on
Okay.
my spiritual life, and giving that. And then I move to my motivational. So I'm always listening to that. Always. So but it doesn't take that much, just like you said. It don't take much to shift the mind. So if 5 minutes work for you, then that's great. But I know for me, and where I know God got me going, it takes a whole lot more, because we live a life of self-doubt. And so that's a lot you got to clean up. You got to clean it up. So for me, I must feed myself the positivity a whole lot more to stay on course with where God is taking me.
All right. Thank you. We'll bring back all of our co-hosts, and Paquin is going to prepare to wrap us up. But thank you so very much for that response.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, am I in love with you? I am just in love with you. I'm bobbing, I'm twigging. You have me dancing in my seat over here. And what I want to tell everybody that's watching, this is just so important what we're talking about. I want to thank you, Imelda Wallace and Edgar Rolak, for being part of here and showing up. One of the things that you said, Lakesha, that I love is came out of your mouth so naturally. And you said, I'm a winner. Get right back up, because I'm a winner. I know that statement came out of the work that you do. And I am very, very impressed, about you're saying 40 minutes. And I want to bring all my co-hosts and everybody on, because I'm going to do an interactive activity. So everybody that's on, all right. So what I need to know, and it's in segments of 10 minutes, How many minutes by holding up your hand? So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 minutes, right? How many minutes do you spend on a daily basis to influence your mind to create a burning desire and stay focused? Just hold up your hands. Hold up your hands. 20 minutes, 100 minutes, 50 minutes, 100 minutes. So I'm being very blessed by the people that I surround my mind. They knew something that I didn't know. I literally have to do from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. my investment of time. Of course, I also want to know for me myself is I don't like to work too hard. So I made a commitment 2 years ago to only work 4 days a week from 10 to 5 and triple my income.
Wow.
But that's where you inspired me, Lakesha. I mean, when I hear Ann, she inspires me. What you are 100% right, Lakesha. You are so right that you can do anything if you desire it. And I love, Ann, what you said about what's the work. I think a lot of people think that work is what you're typing and writing to reach people but the work, what you're saying, and Galen says it, and Peter says it, and Lakesha, you obviously said, the work isn't that, that's not the work. The work is here.
Yeah.
The work is here.
Yeah.
Here, 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 here. And anybody that's listening in the chats, can you all just share in the chat if you had an easy life where everybody told you you were magnificent, or are you living a life where you had to change some beliefs and thoughts? So in the chat, if you would write, everybody told me it's magnificent, or I have to work at changing myself. Can you just put that in the chat so we know who you are and giving it? So let me go back to Galen. Galen, last week you were at the annual event of the International Masterminders. Peter, you were there? Ann was there. Lakesha, were you there?
No, I didn't make it. But I put in work.
I put in my work. I got my work done, but I had COVID, so I didn't make it because I didn't want to be a spreader. So, but Galen, can you please share about that experience so those of you who don't know what the annual event is can hear about it?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the each year, we get together in Boca Raton. Usually, the first weekend of the year, we get together in Boca Raton, and it's just a group of like-minded people. Just as Lakesha shared earlier, like-minded people who want you to, number one, review your life in writing for the past year. So, what did you do? Right? Not these things that you talked about doing, but what did you actually do? And then what's your plan for this upcoming year? And it's one of those things for me that it's really about the work to get ready for that meeting than anything that you actually get from the meeting, because you literally can't go in the room unless you can account for your life in 10 different areas over the past year. And Miss Ann Ms. Ann McNeil is always nice and polite here on the show, but boy, when she stands guard at that door, if you don't have your life in writing, you can't come in the room. So that's the first thing. But then the second thing, just to be in the room when you are sharing your plan for this upcoming year, and to see so many people encouraging you, investing in you, reinforcing your dreams with ideas of how you might even take it a step further or to make it more of a reality. As I say with my physical brother and my physical sister, sometimes you need to have people around you who just validate that you're not going crazy. And that's what that room is. That room is full of people who are like-minded, motivated. They're trying to make things of their lives as well. And so they're eager to invest in you and encourage you. There is one part of the meeting that always ends up inspiring me a lot more than I anticipate. And that's when you see the youth get up. You see people under the age of 19 or 20, and they're doing the exact same things, but they're not inhibited by the same fears and concerns that we mature grown adults might be concerned about. They're just going for it. They're saying, I'm going to live in a castle. I'm either going to be an obstetrician or I'm going to be a queen. I don't know which one right now. I'm going for both, right? Those are the things that the youth are saying. And if that doesn't encourage you, then you might need to check your pulse at the door. So yeah, I just got back. I'm still kind of hyped because of it. And that's the very energy that you need to jumpstart the year. I encourage it for everybody.
I love it. And it's next year, January. Do we know the date yet? All I have to tell you all is next January, you will be there no matter what.
Yes.
Next year, if I get something happens, I'll just come in with an oxygen tank, but I'm not missing it. I'm not missing it.
Hazmat suit.
The hazmat suit. There we go. One of the things that I want to be able to make sure everybody knows is we are building up a desire, a white burning desire in ourselves where we want 100 subscribers for the Think and Grow Rich. We want to get our own name on it for YouTube, and we need your help. We need you to subscribe. We need to tell your friends to subscribe. We need to tell your friends who are watching TikTok or Instagram Reels, and they have to just subscribe. Everybody has to subscribe. We want 100 subscribers. Let's make a date, because unless you make a date, it doesn't happen.
That's
so
true.
I want a burning desire that by February 1st, we will have 100. That's 2 weeks from now. Let's make it February 15th on Valentine's Day, February 14th. 100 subscribers. We have 27, and I am asking you, subscribe, get people to subscribe, tell them to subscribe, give me that Valentine's Day gift, because we need it. We will need to spread this message. We need people like Lakesha to be showing up. All of you that are showing up, inspire us, motivate us, and help us be bigger, better, stronger. If you're inspired today, get people to subscribe. We're not asking for your money. We're not asking for your anything. We're asking you to click the bell and say subscribe and add it so that you get the notifications. But subscribe is all I have to say.
Hey,
Lakesha,
Pagine, let me jump in. I want to even be even more specific. I want everyone who's watching this to put in the chat whether or not you subscribe. So just type in the chat subscribed. And if you can't type subscribed, then I want you to hit that subscribe button like Pagine just said. But just if I can hear from Doretha, Imelda, Teresa, I see you, Edgar. If you're watching this, just put in the chat subscribed or hit that subscribe button, and then you can type subscribed. Back to you, Pagine. Pat, okay, I see. Okay, we got a couple of subscribed coming. Come on now. I didn't offer this before, but I'll offer 50 GB points. 50 GB points to everyone who subscribes. And 50 GB points is well on the way to getting those steak knives. Once you hit 5 million GB points, steak knives are on the way. So 50.
Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. I'm also going to make sure that my co-host and all my guests make sure our co-host and guests are also subscribed, and every one of their family members are subscribed. Just subscribe. So, Lakesha, I have to tell you, that smile of yours, that message of who you are, how you had our heads doing this. I mean, I think that Peter and Galen and Ann's heads were bobbing so much, we were sounding like we were hearing a rock star talk and moving with her music. Thank you so much for your brilliance. How can people find you?
I'm on Facebook. Again, my group is Mindset Not Color on Facebook. You can also find me on Instagram, Poplar's Insurance. And I am available in several states. So if anyone needs any assistance in any areas, life, health, commercial, I'm available to provide that service to them. So even if it's just a conversation, education, that's who I am. That's what I'm about. So I look forward to it. And I want to thank you guys for inviting me on this platform. This has been a wonderful experience, and I am looking forward to doing greater things with you guys.
Love it. So, Galen, Peter, and then Anne, share how people can get in contact with you.
Okay, I'll get started. So, first of all, there are lots of different ways to get a hold of me. Galen Bingham, the leadership strategist. I'm a certified coach. And you can find me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. But the funnest way, the best way, the most engaging way to get a hold of me is to look for my podcast, Whiskey, Jazz, and Leadership Podcast. It's real talk you can't get anywhere else. I double dog dare you to try me just once. We're having a lot of fun with amazing leaders talking about what it really takes to be an effective leader.
And where is my Peter?
Here I am. Here I am. My name is Dr. Peter A. James, the high performance coach, helping you to shift your mindset. You can find me on any social media platform at Dr. Peter A. James. That's at DrPeterAJames. And also shiftyourmindset.com. Please connect with me. I do want to, before we go, I want to make a comment. I love the comment from Edgar in the chat. It says, I like the fact that when entering this group, you are held accountable, pushed into your purpose. That's huge. That's what we're doing here. And we're asking you to, partner with you on your journey to your purpose. And Think and Grow Rich is just one of the sources to be able to help you get there. Ann McNeil, I know you are the master builder. Tell us how we can stay in touch with you.
Absolutely. Yes. Wow. I like that. Pushing you to your purpose. Thank you for sharing. Wow. Ann McNeil, the master wealth builder, helping you to build a stronger and better life and business. You can connect with me by going to annmcneil.com/coaching and participate with us in our monthly clarity accountability. And that is helping to push you towards your purpose. Thank you.
And my name is Pegeen. You can always find me. Just do PEGINE in any Google, and you'll find me as Pegeen Power, Instagram. I'm everywhere. You could also go to Power Women Worldwide. And if you really want to be inspired on a daily basis to get some insight, motivation, quick in your ear, then you want to join Pegeen.club, where every single day you get some information into your ear that is about confidence, leadership, business, sales, prosperity, and motivation, because we all need inspiring content all the time. So that's where you would go. I'm so excited. I want to be giving a shout out to our producer, who is just, Bethany is amazing. She's incredible, and she makes us look good. Thank goodness. Ann McNeil, thank you for starting this, my co-host, and of course, Lakesha. Thank you for blessing us with your magnificence, with your joy, with your power. Everybody, remember, you work yourself into a burning desire. Ensure that you have this white heat fired up. Get yourself going, because we are here to serve you so that you can serve the world and be prospered in the process. Get your Think and Grow Rich book. Pick it up, read it, live it, and let it read you, as Ann McNeil says. And with that, we all say bye, sending you kisses and hugs. Take care, everybody.